Imposter syndrome and cultivating a style is an interesting one. Success mindset. I think those all are wrapped into the same thing. It sort of looks like this. You have all the voices in your head that say, why are you doing this? It's stupid. Nobody cares. This is dumb. You're going to make a fool of yourself. Nobody's listening. You're not qualified. You're not trained. You're not good at it. There's so many voices. You're just making noise. You can have all those things in your head and you just do it anyway. There's no other way to get through imposter syndrome. There's no other way to find success. The success mindset is the same thing that's tied to imposter syndrome. Those are very much the same things. Because the difference between people who are successful at things and the people who are not is just that the people who are successful just tried. They just did the thing, right? They're not smarter than you or better than you in any possible way. We all have very individual skill sets that work for us. And hopefully, ideally, we find out what those skill sets are. We run toward them and we do them in an ideal world. But typically what you find with successful people is that they just did it. They did it with the voice. They did it with no money. They did it coming from trauma. They did it even though their parents suck. Like, everybody has the same stories. Everybody has reasons why they're limping in. Like, don't you feel like every human alive feels like, I know that person has success, but I have X, and like insert whatever your shortcoming or your weakness is. But every single person in their life feels like they're limping in. I think that's maybe an important thing to know about with imposter syndrome. It's like, we're all limping in with what we feel we're coming at it with a disadvantage because of X, right? I'm unemployed. I'm this. My parents are divorced. I have so much trauma. I'm anxious. I'm shy. I'm an introvert. I'm an extrovert. I'm poor. I'm rich. I'm fat. I'm skinny. Like, every single person's coming into this conversation with some of that shit from their childhood or from their early years or from their years right now, right? I know you think I'm evolved and I'm having tea, but it's actually just toxic chemical, but it's energy juice. But I think the difference with success is that the people just do it anyway. So how do you get over imposter syndrome? Find the thing you want to do. If you want to start blogging, writing, if you want to go back to school, if you want to start working again, if you want to start a business, a charity, I don't care what it is that you want to do. The way to get through imposter syndrome is know that every single person is limping in and that you're going to feel scared. Your inner voice is going to be mean. The best thing to do to try to remove it is just really say to yourself, whose voice is that? When the voice says you suck, you're ugly, you're not qualified, you're not going to be good at it, that's not your voice. We don't talk to ourselves like that. We innately love ourselves, except for the people who don't eat. No, I'm kidding. We love ourselves. So if someone is saying to you, you're stupid, you're ugly, you're gross, nobody wants you, you're unlovable, that is somebody else's voice. The best way to sort of distance yourself from that is to sort of figure out whose voice is saying that to you and why. Was it a parent? Was it something that happened to you when you were young in class? I had this crazy revelation the other day, just side note, and producer, can you just put a pin in the fact that I want to come back to that? I remember when I was super young, I had I got these new sneakers. I thought they were Skechers, but my parents didn't have any money. So apparently we went to like a store and got like a subset of, they weren't Skechers, they were wannabe Skechers. I was so proud. They were new shoes. It was a big deal for me to get new shoes. There was 5 of us, right? I put on my sneakers. I go to school and I run to my sister's class to show her. And they're all like, it's dismissal. And my sister and all her cool older friends, 4 years older than me, are leaving. And I'm like, I say to my sister, look at my Skechers. And like, I must have been really young. And I put my foot out and she looks at me and she looks at my Skechers and she's like, those are not Skechers, those are knockoff. And all of the oxygen just left my tiny body. And I just it was in that moment, I guess I realized, I'm like, oh wow, I'm not a cool kid. I don't have what the cool kids have. I may never, I decided things about my life. So sometimes it's like voice is someone else's voice that's talking to you, something that happened to you. I'm not saying this girl's voice is in my head when I have imposter syndrome, although I will say, I think for a long time, brands and name brands were so important to me because that person from when I was so young still had power over the things I decided to wear. Like I was like, no, I can afford the, like, it was my little self being so defiant when I just don't like brand names. I don't like wearing names of things on my clothes. It's so not who I am. And I was like, why am I doing this? Whose voice is that? So a great way to separate from that voice is to identify whose it is. And the second thing is to do it anyway. That's really, there's no big trick. And I know it sucks, but just try it. If you're going to write something, just write it. Pass it along to like 12 friends or like your family. Like if you do an op-ed, if you're writing something, hey, can I share my writing with a couple of you guys and get honest feedback? Like whatever it is, just do it. If you don't want to do it on a big, at pro level, start small and just get feedback. Ask people genuinely for feedback. Am I good at this? Don't put it out and then don't be sensitive, right? Like to find the thing, to find out if you're good at it, to find out if you're meant to do it, create the art, make the work, do the thing, and then let people give you honest feedback about it. You'll know if you're on the pollen path from the feedback. And success mindset is very much the same thing. It's believing that you deserve to be in the room. It's believing that there's a seat at the table for you. It's just believing very deeply and working on that. If you can't believe it, then you have to work on meditating around it or mantras or talking to yourself around like, I deserve to have that. I deserve to be here. I deserve to have a part in this. I deserve to take a piece of what that person has, not from them, but because there's enough for everybody, that there is abundance. Someone else's success does not mean that we don't have success. In fact, when you see other people's success, it should motivate you and inspire you to be like, wow, there's so much success out there. Like, look, if you only just reach out and take it, there's enough for everyone. Like that person just reached out and took it. That's the only difference. That's a success mindset. And people will tell you it's journaling, it's making a rigid schedule for your time. You have to really, like, I always hear entrepreneurs saying, like, success is like accounting for every second of every day. You know how much time I blow online? A lot. And I would still say that I'm moderately successful. And the reason is just because I believe that I can, I believe that I should. And even when the voice is mean, I just do it anyway. And I'm just like, I deserve to be here doing this as much as next girl if that's what my heart desires. So like, don't worry about all the entrepreneur things. Work, meditate, focus, believe, and do energy work around trusting, knowing, and deeply believing, not in a fake way, in a real way, that you deserve to have it, to be there, to have love, to have the relationship. You're worthy of it. You're worthy of the success. You're worthy of the money. It doesn't matter how it started, how it's going, who said you shouldn't, what your parents taught you. Every day you have a new day to decide who you are, what your path is, what you want for your life. Like no one's going to go and give you your dream. You have to go get it. So deeply believe that you deserve it and that it can come to you. It could happen for you. It will happen for you. And when it does, you'll be able to hold on to it. That's my mindset too around, money. I know like people don't like to talk about it, but I do get asked about it. It's like, it's an energy just like everything else. And if you believe that all the things I just said before, it's the same thing with finances. I deserve it. It flows around me. There's an abundance of it, even if it doesn't feel like there is right now. It's possible for me. Life is ever changing. I'm an ideas machine. My partner is an ideas machine. Or you just focused around thinking about that there's a lot of it out there. You just have to access it.